Coming up, it's Friday, which means we got high school football tonight, college football this weekend. I'll give you some games that I picked and more coming up on Southern Sports Now. Welcome in on this Friday. It is September the 8th, 2023 as we get rolling. Ready for a big weekend. We got high school football tonight, college football tomorrow, the big Alabama-Texas game tomorrow night, and NFL on Sundays. The NFL starts this weekend as well. Had a game last night in the National Football League as the Lions upset the Chiefs last night in NFL action. But we got a lot to get to in high school and college that we'll cover here on Southern Sports Now. We got the mailbag we'll jump into in just a little bit. I want to remind you, though, you can subscribe to our East Alabama Now YouTube channel, like our East Alabama Now Facebook page. That's where you can find us each and every day here on Southern Sports Now. High school football tonight. We got a great slate of games, so let's take a look at tonight's games. First, you got Moody at Alexandria, big region game tonight as region play begins across the state of Alabama. So Moody at Alexandria. Moody, a top 10 team. Alexandria yet to win a game. Valley Cubs really looking to get it done tonight. You got Anniston hosting Munford in the first region game there for the Anniston Bulldogs. Anniston coming off that loss last week to Andalusia on the road. They're back home. They're looking to get a win tonight against Munford. Cleburne County opens up region play on the road. They'll take on the Talladega Tigers tonight. You've got Donahoe at Raglan. Oaks Bluff playing host to Glencoe as Glencoe defeated Weaver last week. Oaks Bluff has only played one game. Their loss to Southside last Thursday night sets up this rivalry game there at Mike Robertson Stadium in Oaks Bluff. Top 10 matchup here. Jacksonville is on the road at Handley. So this is a 6-7 game here. Jacksonville ranks 6, Handley 7 in Class 4A. So the Golden Eagles heading down to Roanoke to take on the Handley Tigers. The Battle of Highway 77 here is Southside is at Lincoln. That should be a fascinating game there at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium at Lincoln. Ohatchee hosting Westbrook Christian tonight as Ohatchee 2-0 on the year. Westbrook 1-0. First year under Steve Smith as he returns to take on the Ohatchee Indians tonight on the Creek Bank. Oxford on the road at Shades Valley tonight to open up 6A Region 6 play as Oxford looking to extend those big numbers that they've had offensively for the Yellow Jackets. Defense pretty hot this year as well, but Oxford at Shades Valley. Top 10 matchup here as Piedmont heads to Sylvania to take on the Sylvania Rams. This is another top 10 matchup as Piedmont ranked number 8 in Class 3A, Sylvania ranked number 9. So 8 versus 9 in 3A there with Piedmont at Sylvania. Also, West End is at Pleasant Valley tonight to get region play going in Class 2A. Also, Ranburne playing host to Fayetteville. Sax is on the road at Beulah. This is a long trip for the Sax Wildcats down to Coosa County. Beulah is actually in the Eastern Time Zone, in the state of Alabama, but in the Eastern Time Zone. It's way down in Coosa County on the Georgia-Alabama line, but Sax is at Beulah tonight. Spring Garden on the road at Wadley, and Weaver traveling down to Dadeville to start region play. So really good games across East Alabama as we get region play started in high school football tonight. And we'll have you covered next week as we got some really good matchups as well coming up next week. But should be a fun night of high school football across East Alabama. We'll jump to a break here. Coming up, we'll dive into the mailbag and more here on Southern Sports Now.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
East Alabama Now Local News has been bringing you the best local news coverage for 6 months. And now we're growing.
EAN News will be available to you 5 nights a week with new faces, new content, and coverage that is second to none.
We'll be bringing you the weather that matters to your neighborhood and to you. Rain or shine, you'll be in the know.
Sports always brings communities together, and EAN Sports will have coverage of all of our area events.
East Alabama Now, local news, new faces, same great coverage. Starting 5 days a week, May 1st. EAN Local News, your news on your schedule.
We're back here on Southern Sports Now. I'm Chase Robinson. It's Friday, which means it's time to open up the Southern Sports Now mailbag. I want to remind you how you can submit questions. You can email us, eansports23@gmail.com. You can send us a message on Twitter, on our Twitter account, at EAN_sports, on the East Alabama Now Facebook page. Drop it on the video when you watch, and we'll get to those sports questions each and every Friday. I have 2 really good questions today that we are going to dive into. First question up, who will be a surprise team in college football this year? Who will be a surprise team in college football this year? I had to think a lot about this, but here's my answer. Tulane. Now, we kind of learned a lot about Tulane last year. Went to the Cotton Bowl. They beat USC, and I think they're going to ride a lot of that momentum from last year into this year. And I think that overall, a lot of guys are back from last year. They got to experience that kind of that high towards the end of the year. And I think they're going to roll with that. They've got Ole Miss tomorrow. I'll give my pick to this game a little bit later on. But I think Tulane, they're ranked number 24. I think they can compete in every game they play this year. And I think we could see Tulane in another big-time bowl game. I like where Tulane's at. And maybe they're not a surprise team just because of the way that they ended. But I think the surprise could be, because we see these teams from time to time who will be ranked in the top 25. They'll get a New Year's Six bowl game, and then you don't hear from them from 5 or 6 years, and then they'll be back and do this again. I don't think Tulane's one of those teams. I think Tulane is at the point where they can consistently compete. And they beat South Alabama last Saturday. They've got Ole Miss tomorrow. I think this Tulane team is shaping up to be consistently good and to consistently be ranked in the top 25, to be on a national stage. And I like the staff there. I think they have done an incredible job. And I think they've kind of got over that hump of being an average team to being a good team. And I know they're looking to be a great team. But getting a win over USC in the Cotton Bowl, I think that says a lot about where this Tulane program is. But I would say that they are going to be a surprise team for me this year. And again, not based on, being kind of rarely good. Well, they were good last year. I think they're consistently going to be good. So I would say they are my surprise team. Question number 2, this is a fun one here. Submitted here, it says, do you believe the Colorado hype? Are you drinking the Colorado Kool-Aid? Is another way you can put this. So here's the deal. I know Colorado had a great win against TCU last Saturday. I think they game planned well for TCU last Saturday. I'll say this up front. I'm not a fan of Deion Sanders. I don't like his attitude. I don't like what he brings to the game of college football. He was a great athlete. He was a great football player. But to me, Colorado has a lot to prove. I'm not going to say that they're one of the best teams in college football when we've just seen them play one game, and that game be against TCU. I understand TCU is a nationally ranked team, but TCU is not the same team that we saw last year in the national championship. There's questions of even if they deserved to be in the national championship. And so I don't think we're playing the same TCU team as they fielded last year. So Colorado's got a lot to prove. We can't just, after one game of them beating TCU, say Colorado's the next big thing and Deion Sanders is the next greatest coach ever. He also has a lot to prove. When his name started coming up for jobs like Auburn and other big-time jobs in the offseason, I just kind of scratched my head because he couldn't win at an FCS school at Jackson State. He won some big games, but he also lost a lot of games that he shouldn't have lost. And so he has a lot to prove as a coach because you put him on a high level at a team like Colorado, currently in the Pac-12, soon to be in the Big 12. But it's a coach who, yes, he can recruit. He relates well to the players, and he gives them what they want. But he's got a lot to prove as a coach. And so I'm not jumping on the Colorado hype right now. And it's going to take a lot for me to jump on the Colorado hype. I think they'll win some games this year, no doubt. I mean, I thought they game planned well against TCU. But that was the first game of the year. That was a lot of hype around Deion being his first game with Colorado. I think a lot has to be proven for Colorado for me. I know a lot of people are jumping on and all Colorado now. I'm not, and I'm not all about Deion. Again, I don't like his demeanor. I don't like the stuff he was saying, even in the post-game press conference. If I didn't care for him before that, I sure don't now. There's some things that just need to stay out of college football, and a lot of what he was talking about in his post-game press conference, I would like to see stay out of college football. So I am not on board with Colorado, and as you can tell, probably won't be for a while. But it's interesting to see what will come of his time there at Colorado and if they can win more big games. They were on a national stage last week as well. He's got some great players that he's brought in there, but can he sustain that? Can he win enough games to keep players wanting to come? And I think that's the biggest thing in college football now, and that's what all coaches are, kind of the pressure that's on coaches. Can I win enough games to keep my roster intact? Can I win enough games to get people to want to transfer into me? Can he do that? We'll have to find out, but I'm not buying into Colorado right now, and it's going to take a whole lot for me to buy in there to Deion and Colorado. So appreciate those questions in the mailbag today. Love answering sports questions here on the show, especially college football questions. A lot going on in the world of college football right now. We will jump to a break here. Coming up, we'll talk Jack State, Coastal Carolina. We'll talk Auburn, Cal. We'll talk Alabama, Texas. We'll do that next.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Mailbag Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
If you see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Back here on Southern Sports now as we roll through this Friday. Boy, it's a big weekend of college football. Jacksonville State on the road at Coastal Carolina tomorrow, taking on the Chanticleers up there near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. As Coach said in his press conference earlier, they're going to the beach, but it is a business trip up there. There will be no fun at the beach for the Gamecocks this weekend. They've got a tall task, too, with Coastal Carolina. We've talked some about the Chanticleers throughout the week, but should be a fun game because you got Grayson McCall, quarterback for Coastal Carolina. He is 28-5 overall as a starter in the last 3 years. That's impressive enough. 35 games, he has completed 70.6% of his passes for 8,068 yards and has thrown 78 touchdowns. He is probably, just looking up and down the schedule for Jacksonville State, he's the best quarterback that they'll see this year. And the defenses, they've been working this week. They're ready, but I don't know how ready you can be to face a quarterback like this when you can't really simulate it in practice. He's a guy who hits his targets. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country that this defense is going to be facing. Rich Rod talked this week about McCall, what he's seen from him. Also, defensive lineman Jackson Luttrell spoke on Grayson McCall earlier this week. Let's take a listen.
He's competitive. He's smart. He'll make plays that are there, then he'll make plays that aren't there. He's probably one of the most dynamic leaders in college football, and has been. I mean, what has he been, the 3-time Player of the Year in the Sun Belt Conference? That doesn't happen very often, and he's off to another good start. So, got a lot of respect for him. Got a lot of respect for their program and what they've done in the last, I guess, 7 or 8 years to get to this point.
A heck of a quarterback. He's tough. He'll run it if he needs to. I mean, he's got great pocket presence. I mean, he can throw it around. He likes, I guess, number 15, I believe. He loves throwing it to him. He's a good receiver. We'll have to definitely key in on him. Just a good game manager. I mean, he's a real good quarterback.
So that was Rich Rod and Jackson Luttrell talking about Grayson McCall, quarterback for Coastal Carolina. This is going to be a tough game for Jacksonville State, but I think we'll learn a lot about the Gamecocks. We saw kind of in week 0 when they played UTEP, we saw Jacksonville State really come through and prove a lot that game. Prove kind of that they're there to finish games. That was not the best offensive game for Jacksonville State by any means. In fact, it was not a good offensive performance at all, but the defense came through. They showed that even if they have a bad day offensively, the defense can show up. Last week, in the blowout win over East Tennessee State, I think we saw kind of the depth of this Jacksonville State team. This week, I think we have the opportunity to learn a lot about Jacksonville State, how they may handle adversity, how they handle a really good quarterback in Grayson McCall. I think we can learn kind of how the running backs are able to adjust against a really big defensive front and what you're going to see for Coastal Carolina. I think this could be a kind of, you win this game, you get a lot of momentum for the rest of the season. Like we've talked about multiple times here this kind of in the offseason, a 6-6 year for Jacksonville State this year, to me, is going to be a good year. You're going to the FBS. You're playing different teams, bigger teams, teams that are used to playing at this high level. So 6-6 is going to be a good year for Jacksonville State. If you win this game tomorrow, I think you have a chance to maybe win a few more than you think. I really do. Now, is Jacksonville State going to win this game? I don't know. It's going to be tough to go up there to play Coastal and to walk away with a win. A very extremely well-coached team. They got a great offensive coordinator. If you keep up with Jacksonville State football, offensive line coach Rick Trickett. He spent time at Florida State, West Virginia, Auburn, has coached some really good coaches. He's the offensive line coach at Jacksonville State. His son is the offensive coordinator at Coastal Carolina. Cool connection there. But Coastal's going to be tough for Jacksonville State. So that game's 6:30 tomorrow night. You can check that out. Also, of course, big games for Auburn and for Alabama. So let's talk Auburn-Cal. Now, you think, SEC going out to play Pac-12, play Cal. Auburn's got this. And again, I'll get to my picks later on. I think Auburn's going to win this game, but I think Cal is very capable of winning this game. Just looking at their offense, got a really good quarterback. He can get it done. And I think what is going to help Cal, what is in the Cal Bears' favor, is that it's a 9:30 kick. Auburn's having have an extended game day. You think about college football programs, and these coaches have game day timed out to a T of what you're doing and when you're doing it. Well, with a 9:30 kick, that extends game day. These guys are just going to be kind of sitting around waiting for the game to start. You're going to be playing until after midnight. It's what your body's not used to doing. So I think that Auburn has a chance to kind of define their year maybe by how they perform in an adverse situation. That sounds like a coach saying that. But I think they're going to have to battle a lot of adversity in this game. And I think Cal could use that to their favor. But I think it should be a great game there at California Memorial Stadium there in California as the Bears host the Auburn Tigers. And tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa, there's a pretty big game as the Texas Longhorns come to Bryant-Denny Stadium. First time ever that Texas has played in Tuscaloosa, and I think it's setting up to be a fun environment. It's College Game Day will be there on ESPN. If you saw it, the game day bus was actually in Oxford last night as they were traveling through. They had to stop and get something to eat. So it was parked in Oxford last night as they were heading over to Tuscaloosa. You got all kinds of stuff going on as far as kind of the game day atmosphere. I've been to several Alabama LSU games, and to me, those games in Tuscaloosa have the most fanfare, the most people there. It's the wildest atmospheres when LSU comes to Tuscaloosa. I think tomorrow, this Texas-Alabama game is going to be like the atmosphere of an Alabama-LSU game. I think it's going to be just electric outside the stadium, inside the stadium, wherever it is. I think the atmosphere is going to be second to none tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. I'm excited to see both offenses. I'm excited to see how Alabama's offense does. Jalen Milroe leading them. We had a chance to see him against Middle Tennessee, but I think we'll learn a lot about him tomorrow. Facing a team like Texas. I think we'll learn a lot about Quinn Ewers, how he battles against Alabama tomorrow against a fantastic Alabama defense. So I think we're going to learn a lot about both offenses. So that game should be fun to watch as well. That is a 6 o'clock ESPN game tomorrow night. And again, Auburn will be on ESPN as well with that 9:30 kickoff. So lots of good games happening tomorrow. But, hey, Alabama, Texas, Auburn, Cal, Jack State, Coastal Carolina, those are the games we have our eye on tomorrow. We'll jump to a break here. Coming up, I'm going to pick some games, and I'll give you who I think will win. 6 games in our Pick 6 segment. We'll do that next.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rodney Sneed from both CARES and Direct Primary Care. Direct Primary Care is an exciting new model of medical care growing on both the East and West Coast. It's been recommended by Forbes and the American Academy of Family Physicians and others for individuals or small businesses with or without health insurance. The pure simplicity of a membership model streamlines the burden of medical care. It eliminates 60% of the overhead. That streamlining allows providers time to focus on patients with free, no copay, no deductible, unhurried office visits or telehealth visits with minimal waiting room time. It produces same or next day appointments and access by text or telephone during and after hours. It saves you from leaving work, wasting time and getting exposed in a waiting room. And the convenience and cost with barriers removed helps one avoid letting problems like a sore throat turn into an expensive ER or hospital visit for pneumonia. If you're interested, search the web for CARES Direct Primary Care.
We're back here on Southern Sports Now. Chase Robinson here as we roll into our final segment of the day. And it's time to pick some games as we get ready for college football. A big day of college football tomorrow. I've got 6 games that I'm going to pick here. Games that kind of cover college football all across the country. First one up, number 23 Texas A&M at Miami. Now, this is an interesting game. Last year, they played at Texas A&M. Really, this was just a sloppy game. Texas A&M got the win, but it was not good football. And, of course, the following week, Texas A&M lost to Appalachian State, and the wheels fell off, and it was an awful year for Jimbo and the Aggies. I think Texas A&M wins this game. I really do. I think they go down to Coral Gables in Miami. They win this game. I think it'll be close. I think this game will help Texas A&M kind of moving forward throughout the season, but I think the Aggies go down and beat Miami. Next game up, this will be a good one. Number 20 Ole Miss at number 24 Tulane. I talked about Tulane earlier as a surprise team. I do think Ole Miss wins this game, but I think it's like a field goal. I think it is a super close game, super tight. These are two really good offenses. I think there's a lot to figure out about Ole Miss this year, but I do think that Ole Miss goes to New Orleans to defeat the Tulane Green Wave there. I've got Ole Miss, number 20, winning that game. Next up, Nebraska at Colorado. We just talked about Colorado, Deion Sanders. You got a new Nebraska coaching staff. So kind of 2 new staffs here. I think this will be a close one as well, but I do think Colorado gets the win. Now, all I said about Colorado earlier, like I said, I do think they'll win some games. I don't think Nebraska is at the point yet where they're a top-level team. Colorado, I think, does get the win. They are at home. It's Deion's first game at Colorado. So, those Colorado fans are going to be fired up tomorrow, and I think Colorado gets the win. Next up, Notre Dame at North Carolina State. This is an interesting one here. Notre Dame has had their moments the past couple of years. They're still trying to figure things out and figure it out offensively. I've got Notre Dame winning against NC State, and I think Notre Dame's kind of out to prove themselves, and I think they'll do that tomorrow. So next up, both of our in-state schools are the final 2 of my pick 6. We'll go Auburn at Cal. And I mentioned Cal has a huge potential to win this game. This is going to be tough for Auburn. I think this is going to be a very close game. This could be a game that maybe Cal leads for 3 quarters and Auburn able to put something together. I think Auburn's offense, though, is clicking with Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford. If they can use them to their strengths, I think Auburn goes and beats Cal on the road in the late-night West Coast game. I've got the Auburn Tigers winning. And last up, number 11, Texas at number 3, Alabama. It's the game everybody's going to be watching tomorrow night, and it's in Tuscaloosa. I think Alabama is a different team from last year, more disciplined. I got Alabama winning. You think back to last year, that's when we saw 1,000 penalties in that game. And it could have been a much different outcome if Alabama had been more disciplined. I think this is a much more disciplined team. And Alabama, I got the Tide rolling tomorrow over Texas. That's my pick 6 here on this Friday. We'll do this every Friday here on Southern Sports Now. That's all the time we have for you today. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday as we'll recap all this great football. We'll see you then.